Yeah.
You change your mind about that date. I ain't got no plan Thursday. So you know.
Okay. I'll get back to you. Four. Have very few papers to hand out to y'all. Where are we missing today?
Yeah, I'm not here today, so if you see me sleeping, I'm in the guys everyone.
You're not here today.
Yeah, you see me sleeping. I'm not sleeping, I'm resting my eyes.
Okay. So you got the same problem that Trevor has. If you fall asleep, I need to wake you up.
Yeah. Do that. Which you can do. You know what? You faster.
What? Good question.
You slide some cheeses.
You
still haven't been to class or work, but I failed. One person didn't fail it. You know how difficult that is? Right. Right how they're hard.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3. Count 17. I got to missing somebody. Joseph. Anybody seen Joseph today?
No. That's Kevin Hunt.
Yeah, it's on confused. Take care of that. All right, so number 1. Somebody tell me what a force is. Yeah, put your phone up, take your earbuds out. Derek, put your earbuds too, please. Nigel, you got yours in?
What?
Your earbuds.
They're my book bag.
Okay, very good. Derek, take your earbuds out.
If I have mine in, you'll know. Okay.
Not quite what I had in mind. How about off your ears altogether? Thank you so much. All right, so what is a force? How about Eduardo? What's a force? You do know. Tell me what a force is. What? Just say it loud enough we can hear you. I know he was. That's why I said say it loud enough we can hear you. And you push or pull. Good. Now turn so I can see your ear. Oh, good. All right, so number 2, give me an example of a force. Now, Jerry, give me an example.
Like, I push somebody or something?
Okay, you push somebody. Give me another example, Urelli.
A magnet.
A what?
Magnet.
A magnet. All right, give me another one, Davion.
Ocean currents.
A what?
Ocean currents.
Ocean currents. I mean, that was so hard. Ocean currents.
I said a
Oh, you
tornado.
didn't hear me the first time.
Well, that's because
I said a tornado. 'Cause it's put pressure on the
tornado,
wind.
tornado's a great example. All right, anybody got something else that was cool that you want to share?
Just pushing someone.
Sure. Okay, well, normal. Okay, number 3. What 3 things must all forces have, Jose? Direction, amount, and a unit. All right, so can I get a volunteer to go draw a box up there that shows 2 forces that combine by addition? Go ahead, Nigel. Draw the box.
I don't swear.
That's good, Urelli. Box is important.
What?
What are you, the Unabomber?
You said the Unabomber.
Where's the marker at?
In the drawer. Behind your butt. There's a drawer. Yeah.
What?
2 forces that combine by addition.
Oh, this is what we did yesterday.
That was the forces on. You gonna put a unit on? Yep. Now, if we were to combine them, what would the force be if we added them up? Since I say combined by addition, it'd be 8 newtons, and it would go what direction? To the right. Okay. Any questions about Nigel's example? Okay. You in a bad mood over there, Dion?
A little fast.
Okay. All right, let's talk test papers. I don't think I have much to hand back. Oh yeah, I got 3 papers.
So you are going to be at the school?
Yes, I'll be after school today.
This is my 6.
It says you have a what? All that?
Yeah. I can look.
My grade went up like 1 point. And I was like, I don't even know where that is.
Let's see what it says.
He's like, no.
Yeah, I think I'm 74 for this.
I'd say maybe I put Liliana's grade in your spot. If it is, I need to fix it.
My bad.
It's entirely possible, which is why I told y'all I'm not a machine. You need to keep track of it so I can fix it.
You check all of our grades.
I'm waiting on it to pull up so I can fix it.
No, I'm sorry.
Computer's not fast.
How much
You got a 74, Liliana?
You didn't want me to practice?
I didn't really want to. I didn't know.
I'm not ready.
Crazy.
Maybe you should, you just mind your business.
Didn't you, shouldn't you? Can you speak English and then you can say?
Nah, I just gave both of you 7th grade.
What is it? No.
You want to just?
Yes, it's right over here.
No.
It's fixed.
Thank you.
Alright.
Hold on.
What?
How do you just know 0.5?
Because it's average, so it keeps 1 place behind the decimal. So if it was to go on your report card that says it's 0.5, it would round it to a 91. Now, so that y'all know how this is done again, and y'all don't ask me 8 zillion times as I'm handing these out. All right, there were 33 questions on the test. So on the top is the number correct. Okay, so whatever number you got right is on top of the 33. And then you have whatever your score is. Okay, now if it says minus anything under your score, you lost that because you had units that were missing. So some people lost only like -1 for a unit. Some people didn't lose anything for a unit. Some of y'all lost like 5 points for units. Most of that was in fourth period. But a couple of y'all did lose points for units. Okay? Not too many of you in here. And remember, I get these back, so you don't need to put them in your notebook. You can't keep these.
Is there a reason why I can't get them?
Yep.
Why?
This is part of my secure item test bank. I don't have much of a test bank. And so those questions I do have, I need to keep. You can always do test corrections for anybody who wants to do test corrections.
So if I do rush stressors, I can get like 9.5, right? What? Test correction?
Yes. This morning.
No. You stuck with what you got. Not even getting eight.
How much is test correction?
Half the points that you lost. So, and they will work 3 points each, so you would get 1.5 back for each.
That was the last question.
Ever since that day. What? He said.
Yeah, I know. You're just gonna be happy with what you got.
I got it. Hey, let's go. There was a connection between us. He said I'm connecting everyone else. What? That means you forgot one more unit. Wait.
Now, remember, on the answer sheet on the back, the column that says PRI and STU, PRI is the answer that's correct, STU is the answer you marked. Okay? And if you look out in the one that has the question mark above it that says C and X, C means you got it right, and X means you got it wrong. He's telling you we'll go in the hall for a little bit in case somebody asks a question. The whole door closed. You're really just gonna make sure we don't forget you.
You did. We're to the top.
Okay, the MC on the front is just the number of multiple choice questions you missed.
We both got these.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. That means you missed. That means you missed 3 multiple choice, and you missed 1 for response, and you lost 1 for unit. So you missed 4 total questions.
So where is you?
Here, you can write my own little minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I get that one.
Can I do what? Yeah, number 6. And number 6, you've got to do total distance over total time. You've got to take 5 plus 3 plus 7. So you're going to have all the distances you went. So you would say 5 miles plus 3 miles plus 7 miles. And then the times would be 2 hours plus 1.5 hours plus 0.25 hours plus 3.55 hours. So you're going to get whatever that is.
What about 11?
Hang on, let me finish this one. So that's going to be 15 on top over 2 plus 1.5 plus 0.25 plus 3.55. So 7.3. And then divide. So you get 2.0 when you divide. I got 2.05 on the calculator, so that's why you get 2.0. All right, which one did you say? 11. What would be the velocity of a sailboat? All right, so velocity is distance over time. Okay, so the distance that it went is 60 meters in 3 seconds. So when you divide, you get 20, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you have to make sure you do when you do a velocity? Gotta have the direction. Okay, so you got 20, but you need direction. So which one has direction? You gotta have C. I mean, A's got the right number. So 11, you have to pick the C because it's got southwest. Why? I'm wearing a neon shirt.
Hey, Miss Beverly just told me to deliver it, okay? And said Miss McDuffie wants us
You
to wear
really-
them.
You really think it's?
Hey, just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger.
Gonna get poked by the dang.
Flowers?
What?
Why not get one?
Here's your message.
Let me get one down your students.
Hey, you said it, not me. What is it? What is it?
So they, I can't have no snacks.
No, can't have no snacks. And I look like an orange highlighter, and I'm going to jab myself trying to get this ribbon on.
Oh, wait, what's the point?
It's like relationship dating.
Yeah, safe dating.
Yeah, it's like don't,
Safe dating awareness.
no, not safe sex, Marco. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't beat my girlfriend. Oh.
All right. What else? Anything else?
16.
Did your cookies ever come in?
No. Not that marriage. Still waiting. I am still waiting.
I got one.
Yeah. Huh? Urella, did you find it?
Y'all scared.
Wait,
Oh my God.
motion, visual.
I just tried to look. Can you do 30? I messed up the time.
All right, in 30. All right, because you're doing swimmer 2, just find a cross point, okay? You want to find a good point on that one, Willie? So when you do that, I would take you pick like this point because it's a crosshair, like that point because it's a cross. So if you do that, times 20, this is 20. So 20 over 20 would be what? Yes. Okay, it's easier to do it though if you find a cross point. Does that make sense? So you need the average speed, you need the distance. What distance did you have?
I saw
4 over the time.
Friday night.
So 4 over the time. Yeah, you're putting it on, Dennis.
I was.
You know what
I
one
did, I put
unit?
it in.
It's not a unit.
Yeah.
What unit is that?
She's doing 2.
Yeah, meters over seconds.
Anyway.
Or miles over minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's a acceleration.
Exactly. He said, don't do that, because he's also the same grade as me. We all got like 88s. And the grades got the highest grade. We got what, you get a 99? We got 88s. Like, I'm in another room. This is bull crap. I didn't put it. That's switching in numbers.
All right, anybody else? Anybody else? Before I take this back.
I'm keeping it. I'm putting it on my fridge.
Can I do the corrections today?
What, your one?
You say after tomorrow?
No.
Yeah, it's up here after school.
You say I'm listening to myself.
No. See, it says Lynn's blowing his face. It means they're going in opposite directions. So you would do what if it's in opposite directions?
I had a guess on that one.
Subtract. Because Lynn's blowing his face.
I need.
But I got it right.
You'd be like a head no friend.
But you gotta be. Look at you. You gotta do it.
I don't know.
You gotta 68.
I have no idea why you would be.
So what is vector, what's it called?
Okay, what about 9? What about 9?
A vector has direction. So you need something that has direction to be a vector. Mass would be a scalar, it has no direction.
Oh, I
They
know.
don't
I
say
just-
that as the answer.
So what?
You got 17 right.
So
that was wrong?
Velocity's not changing, so velocity's on your
No.
X or Y axis, so velocity's not changing as we do. That's a math.
I was thinking.
That's a constant, so that would be acceleration on that.
Yeah.
You should know that.
I meant to put
Was it you?
I can't believe it.
Yeah, but it's
So-
like, but you get something.
I was kind of thinking twice on that. Cause I was thinking this, it didn't say the one you were on.
There's some kid right
Staring at that.
She's fucking.
Is it the rope? It's not the rope, but.
What's that?
I used to.
Oh.
Y'all
That should be like half.
Alright, somebody go let your rally in before we forget.
You're really.
Show me
It's
the hallway.
Ella, not me. I'm
In
ready.
the hall.
He looks scary. Why are you so over this? I didn't No, I just.
Let me look at my desk. I might have one or two left. I'm on dreading some Band-Aids. Alright, y'all find your notes. We're gonna move on and talk about friction. It's a hot topic.
Oh my
We're
god.
really excited.
What are we doing?
I'll take notes.
Are we making baking soda volcanoes?
No. Here you go, Mario.
What are we doing another lab?
Tomorrow.
What's that about?
Mario.
What?
Mario, take that from here, Nate.
Are we just doing
Band-Aid?
You're going to work on the computer, but yes, largely notes today.
Do I have some?
But we'll get to the lab tomorrow.
What lab are we doing tomorrow?
You're gonna hit a box.
All right. It's a push and pull.
Oh God, no, you're right.
Where they took all the dogs and put them in the hotel.
Alright.
Was that like a Chelsea dog?
It was good. I didn't remember the name.
It was tough.
It was called Big Summer. No, no, how big?
What? Because that's how dumb I am.
Nigel, are you okay?
What happened? Notes.
Yep.
That's what? Laptop.
No, we won't need the laptop till we get to number 3. We don't have but about 2 slides to do, and then we'll be on number 3. For what? Probably. You're gonna what? What happened? They were hanging around your ears a minute ago.
They're only for iPhones.
Oh, well, I can't fix it for you. Alright. So, we're gonna talk about friction for a minute. I think we have 2 slides. Yeah, 2 slides, and then you're gonna be doing something on the computer for me. That's great. Before you all go out, I'm not doing it. Alright, so what is friction? Anybody know?
Yep.
That's like
Alright. That's usually the answer I get from most people is rubbing. Okay? And it is a type of friction. Alright? Friction is a force that opposes motion. Okay? Friction is a force that opposes motion. Now, what do I mean when I say that it opposes motion? That's right. Okay? Opposes motion means that it will stop moving eventually. Okay? at some point, it is going to stop moving. Okay? Now, it might be that it stops quickly. It might be that it takes a while. Now, if we were in outer space, there is no friction because there's no atmosphere. So in outer space, you can throw something, roll something, and unless it hits something, it's not going to stop. I have no idea who that is. All right? So, we don't have to worry about this in outer space. We don't live in outer space. All right? So, in order for an object to move, the force exerted must be what? I want you to think about what we did yesterday. What were the two kinds of forces we worked with yesterday? Anybody remember? Mm-hmm. What were the two kinds of forces we worked with yesterday? Okay, they could be labeled as a push or a pull. They start with a B and a U.
Balance on.
Balance
I
on
said that
balance.
about 3 times.
Here you go.
So you heard?
Yeah, but I want you to be confident. They will allow it. Alright? Shut up. Alright, balance on balance. Alright.
Say it again.
Alright, so in order for it to move, what kind of force does it have to be? Grace said unbalanced. Y'all think she's right or not? Yes. Okay? So, in order for an object to move, the force exerted must be an unbalanced force. Because if it's balanced, will the object move? We said the force was 0. So if the force was 0, is it going to go anywhere? No. Now, the last sentence, you don't even need to write. You already answered that one up there at the top, or I should say nitrogen, okay? Because eventually friction is going to cause the object to do what? To stop moving. So we've already answered that one. You don't even need to write the last one. Okay, Nigel took care of that one for us. All right, does everybody have what they need on the first two? Everybody caught up? Or do I need to wait on somebody? Are we there? Was that wait, dollar, or go? Okay. All right, so friction depends on two things. What two things determine the amount of friction we're going to have? Anybody know? The amount of what?
Force.
Okay. The amount of force applied between the two objects. Now, the easiest way to illustrate that is with your hands. And I'll let you catch up with me and we'll do that. Because that's an easy way to illustrate. While I'm thinking about it. All right, no, there's no for my class. Where's that? There. If any of you guys are, as we have no intercom system, winter sport athletes. All right, y'all are supposed to meet Miss Cross in her classroom after school Wednesday. Just for like a 5 to 10 minute meeting to talk about the pep rally on Friday.
Wait.
Yes, we have 2 assemblies on Friday. One's a pep rally and one is a assembly. Before y'all get all excited, okay. 3rd period is only like 10 minutes shorter than usual. Don't get all excited.
Wait, so you're
I don't know, I have to go to the newsletter.
Oh, they can't take like lunch away.
No, we still have lunch, it's just the schedule is different. Do I have any seniors? Mario, all right, I'll be fine with senior announcements. Seniors, prom tickets go on sale starting February the 18th for $45 for a single, $90 for a couple, until the end of the day, March the 1st. They will sell tickets every other day during second lunch, we don't have second lunch, all right? Every day during third lunch, okay? I assume they'll go on sale to everybody else after that, but I assume it's for seniors during that space of time.
What time you go to prom with me?
What's the sold?
Prom tickets. But I'm assuming that
She's saying seniors are getting
that was for
first dibs.
seniors, so I'm assuming seniors get first dibs.
So how much are they?
The announcement that I was supposed to make for seniors
Seniors
was
probably have to pay more.
45 for a single, 90 for a couple.
Seniors are probably.
How is it?
If anybody was wondering.
It's probably more for seniors than for juniors. Because seniors, they didn't used to do junior and senior prom like back in the day in this fall. One prom for seniors.
But you do not.
That's why you said something.
I'm taking the water, bro.
You ain't even got a suit.
I did. You said.
I know you just said.
Weird. The best one? Yeah. Well, I know.
You've been on the same fucking high. You know what?
You feel that?
You don't have.
I know somebody.
You see me looking at it. You see me looking at it. You looked at the honeymoon.
Yeah, I said, I told you the ours is tomorrow.
Everybody please support.
All right, I think that's all the announcements I can find.
I mean, I'm trying to.
Hopefully we'll have the intercom system back at some point. Last time they were still waiting on the part. All right, so what's the other thing? Oh, sorry, I forgot. You can't. So if you rub your hands together gently, okay? If you do that and you don't apply much force, your hands get very warm.
No.
No. Now, take the same thing you were doing and push your hands together with a lot of force and rub them back and forth.
Like slowly or just slowly?
It doesn't matter if you do it. All right, what happens? Does it get hot? Yeah. So the more force you use, the greater the friction. Okay? Now, you get very warm if you do it real fast. Now, so the more force that's applied, okay, the more force that's applied, the greater the friction. Gently, you don't get a lot of friction. But a lot of force, you get a lot of friction. Markel over here shaking his hands, he must use a lot of friction.
I don't know, it's not how they make fires, like what
Okay. Now, what?
Is it like how they make fires with the sticks?
Yes. Yes. Okay, more friction, more heat. All right. So what's the second thing that causes friction?
Maybe rubbers feel it.
What?
That's the second thing that friction depends on.
I don't know.
I'm looking at people's shoes to see if I've got any good examples.
That's what I was talking
Why would I look at your shoes?
It was like,
because
Okay, so why would your shoes be important? And the floor, the grip. All right, so what am I looking for on the grip? Okay, so what would I want to put up here on the board? The type of what?
material.
Yes. Okay, so the type of material. All right, whether it is something that's grippy or something that's slick, for example. All right. All right, so I was looking to see if I had, and it looks like most of you have on tennis shoes. I was looking to see if I had somebody who had on like flats, which are generally speaking going to be a very slick bottom type of shoe versus some tennis shoes. But I didn't really, you were the closest I had. But most people, all right, but generally speaking, most people wear tennis shoes to school. Sometimes I can get some booties or some flats that generally are going to have less friction on the bottom and are going to be pretty slick.
Like if you run
Now-
the gym.
If you had a lighter desk or a heavier desk, would that create any difference in the amount of friction it had?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care, okay? I don't care.
You're just relaxed over there
I don't
today.
wanna be wrong.
You're a little grumpy today. All right? Would it have an effect?
She's not.
Yeah. Cause like you're using force, and it only like heavier things have more force.
The answer is yes. Okay?
Two feathers together really fast, they're not gonna get hot.
And Trevor's exactly right. Okay? Something that's heavier will create more force. All right? He was exactly right. Anytime something is heavier, it's going to have more force. Okay? So it's going to have greater friction. So if you have a lightweight dresser at the house and a very heavy dresser at the house, and you try to move them, which dresser or piece of furniture is going to be easier to move? The light one or the heavier one? The lighter one. It's going to create less friction because it's just so much lighter and it's going to be lighter and have less friction. Now, what if you moved it on carpet or you moved it on tile? Which one would be easier to move? The tile. The tile is going to have less friction than the carpet. Okay? Now, from this, we're going to talk about the 4 types of friction. Okay? And I want you to write them down because I'm going to give you a graphic organizer you got to fill in. Okay? And this way you don't ask me, well, where did I find this stuff at? All right. Everybody got what they need off this board? All right. So the 4 types of friction that you're going to look up in a minute. And you don't have to leave space because you're going to put it on a note sheet that I'm going to hand you. All right? Our static friction. Sliding friction. You writing it down?
Yeah.
What?
Those write this down.
Let me see if I put it on the paper. I don't think I did. I think I left it blank. Yeah, the holes are blank. You need to write down the 4 types. Because I don't have it written down. All right?
So don't.
I'm going to turn the page in a minute, so if you want those 2, you might want them. There are. We're not going to fill these in. And the last 2 are rolling and fluid.
Go back.
That's why I told you to write it down.
What you think I was doing?
Wait, are we gonna fill this in or what?
No, you're going to fill it in on this.
So what's the point of writing?
So you know what they are when you're on the computer and you're going, Ms. Ball, what are the 4 types of friction? Do I have the right ones?
You have to write them on the ground.
Scavenger hunting.
You said rolling and what else?
Constant friction.
Yeah, go turn the screen.
That's not working.
Did you make me go back anyway?
Well, I asked you.
One way up.
Nope, you're going to put the definition there. Now,
Oh, my bad.
I can't use it right now.
Hey, can I just water? I can't move. I can't move.
now, one of the things that I do all the time when we do stuff like this is I put helpful websites and things in Google Classroom. I think I put a friction thing in Google Classroom. I can't swear that I did, but you can look and see it'll be at the very bottom of the list if I did. So if you want to join Google Classroom and look and knock yourselves out. There are times that you will have to join Google or will need Google Classroom. I don't know if today is one of them. So there's the code to join the class. If you will, grab your laptop. You have to fill that in and you have to show it to me for grade. All right? Because we're going to use it. It's also your notes for this section because I'm not putting notes on the board on that. You'll notice they're blanks. I'm also not writing anything down about it.
I'm about to just research on
No, get a laptop, not your phone.
Why not?
Because I said so. Let me see if I put anything in Google Classroom.
gonna say, excuse me.
Well, did I tell you I was gonna do a tap out session with my dad and my mom?
Did you tell me you were gonna what?
Do a tap out session, a tattoo thing?
I don't
pay, like,
Like
if
you
you
don't
pay
know.
$800 with an ink, they tattoo you until all their ink is up. So, like, even if you're done your tattoo, they're gonna be like, all right, are you done? You're gonna waste $400. So you just keep getting tattooed. So you pay for it like a group. This person did tattoo, this person did tattoo, this person. And my mom was like, well, yeah, I'll totally do that with you guys. Cause like, she's the one who asked about it. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that with you guys. And she's like, cool, you gonna save up money? I was like, you asked me if I want to do it. She's like, yeah, but you're gonna contribute like $200. I was like, I make 100 every 2 weeks. I'm not waiting 4 weeks. I was like, I will save my money and get my own tattoo for like $200 without contributing. My grandpa is famous in New Jersey.
Oh my God.
I'm international.
Ms. Wall, tell us the news while we do this.
Yes.
I'll let you say.
My big Android.
That's a brick.
It's. Because it says on my song.
Ours is zero.
No, that's it.
How would I have to do this?
Yeah.
How long do we have to do
You ought to be able to do this in about 20 minutes. Looks like I only have a friction review game. Doesn't look like I put a helpful website in there.
You should do the friction read again though.
I have a 60.
There's something I want to know.
Oh. Miss Wall, can I go and get some water?
No. Yeah.
Don't you have a whole water bottle?
Yeah, and I'm going to fill it up. I know I'm filling up. It's almost empty.
Almost there. Is that a 0 or O?
That's a 0.
Sure, and that's not one of the best. But you know what is the one thing?
I think tacos. What's a taco? Yeah, they're the Doritos.
Where do we go after we get there?
Oh, the walking tacos?
As well. Where do we go after we get to the classroom?
All I have is a game. I was looking to see what I have, but I don't. So you can use any website you want.
Oh, that's gonna be.
You can go to anything you want. I was looking to see what I had, but
The code's up there.
No, I'm talking about how.
I'm pulling something up now to see if I can put a helpful website in.
Yeah. I mean, like this stuff, it's just like.
Yeah, like lots of she would have to do.
Now, when you do your example column, you gotta have at least 3 examples.
Ms. Wall, will you go to prom with me?
No.
We play the review friction game.
Yeah, that you can do. It's not a bad idea.
Will that be coming in here?
Yeah, I said that.
But you can use any website for this.
Oh.
Great, you might as well get your work done.
I'm already like.
Yes, madam. Huh? Yep. Take a bath.
What do you mean you can wear
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
What?
You wear.
How will you be able to tell a little bit when I give you examples, which type it is?
Everyone might at home, I think. I'm trying to get, Like that weird segment.
Well, what do we put for keywords?
I wanted to know what the keyword is or what the concept is that will help you identify what it is.
Oh.
So for example, rolling friction. What do you have to know it's rolling friction?
Rolling.
So what would have to be there for it to roll? A what?
Motion. You know.
Does this have rolling friction?
Wheels,
It has what?
wheels.
Wheels. Wheels would be a key word. Or what else? What would be a key word? What I heard it out there.
Ball,
Balls. Wheels or balls would be the key words.
truck tires, ball bearings, bike wheels, car tires.
Anything that has wheels or balls will have rolling friction. Yep, you gotta show it to me. Yep. Alright, so that didn't work very well. Thank you. Raise. Good.
Big is over, we're done.
Huh?
Big is up.
Keep the paper out, but you can go to the computer.
Oh, yeah, I never did that one. We're done with this. I don't have binoculars, I have glasses. They're not that broken. Okay. Not a clue. Don't see why not. Email your jacket's password and that same. Yeah,
I'm gonna do that then.
why not? You need examples over here. Whatever examples you need to write something out. You've got like keywords, these are like keywords, so like fluid
Oh,
friction.
so it's like,
Yeah, those are like keywords, just like that is. So like, if you wash clothes in the washing machine, or if you went swimming, those would be fluid friction. Gotcha. Fine.
I need to see Derek's, Malik's, Eduardo's, and Jose's. You know what I'm saying?
Almost.
Why are you looking at my Instagram?
But anyway, this is not what I was expecting.
Wow.
Right, not at all.
Are you cooking?
I'm good. Oh. It's not, it's just a picture.
Yeah.
Yep.
Derek, Eduardo, how we coming? Close?
Let's sneak that there. There you go.
Okay.
Officially, been on since I started.
Oh, people can make memes out of me. I'm sorry to let you know.
Yeah, but like you do, so like my brother
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't.
How do you even pronounce it? If you like.
I don't follow these ones.
Why?
I follow a lot of people.
Why did you like follow me?
Don't feel bad. I follow like 20 people.
And I was like,
I don't even know how many people follow.
I don't have
Right, that's why I was I love you. I posted something this morning, and I took it out like 20 seconds later. I felt like it wasn't working.
I forget if I fucking remember.
I know I did. Should I post this?
No.
Why?
You shouldn't.
Why? Is that you?
No,
Let us say I'm looking down.
it's me. Oh, just believe me.
Wait, wait. So it is or just not?
Yeah.
What's that? Hold on, what? Oh, okay, I didn't.
Up there.
I didn't
What's this one? This one?
Of course you did. So, you know what I'm talking about? At least put it in like a private folder or something.
I know.
And just put it to your iPhone and then delete it from your camera roll. That's really all you have to do. Or it's moving to my eyes and you delete it from your camera. No, can't. Wow.
I didn't take it on.
You don't have to take it on sunshine. Look at my brother has. It's on your phone. What would you love to? A lot of times you do that. Back whenever we had spent. That is forced. 100% forced. I try to pull away from saying.
Like I would take it.
All right, Derek, I'm waiting on you. Can you show me what you've got?
You do that.
Yo, Derek, can you show me what you've got?
Oh,
Let me see it. You're the one we're waiting on. All right. You guys put your earbuds up and your phones up. Let's talk about what you got. Then we're gonna do a sorting activity. All right, Grace, went back where you belong. Go, Grace.
Grace.
Go back where you belong.
Like 5 times. What's good, Grace?
Y'all have a quiz on this tomorrow.
But you can't just tell us that we got a quiz today.
Told you that yesterday.
Alright. What? What?
All right.
Where's
That. Save that. Only that. All right. So if we look at what you came up with. All right. So for static friction, you write down the definition. What's the key word to be static friction?
Still.
can't move, okay? So if I go up here and I push on this door, what happens? It don't move. That's static friction. So for your examples of static friction, cannot move. So your key word for static friction, oh no, Jay, which one up? Your examples of static friction cannot move. So it could be you're trying to move something and it just doesn't move. All right, if I stand here and I try to move this table and I can't move it, that's static friction. Okay, I could actually move this one, so I can't. I'm not, because I can move that one. I could do it on this one. All right, that one I can actually move. All right, so what kind of examples did you put down for static friction?
Station.
What?
Example?
Yeah, example. What?
A car parked on
A car parked on a hill. Okay, that would be static friction.
You try to push your couch the first.
What? Paper on a tabletop. What?
If you look up the example of static friction, it says if you try to push your couch, the first push is the hardest.
Okay, if you try to push the couch, all right, and the couch doesn't move, that's static friction. All right, my dresser in the bedroom is really heavy. Okay, I cannot move the dresser in the bedroom for the most part without serious effort. So a lot of times I get my husband to do it because I'm lazy. I can move it, but it takes a lot of effort. So it has serious static friction. All right, a lot of times for some people moving the couch might have that. So if you try to move it and you put try to move, I would accept that as static friction. Now if you put moving the couch, is that going to be static friction? No. Okay? So rolling friction. What's rolling friction? Gotta have what and what? Gotta have rolling. So wheels or balls. Give me some examples you put for rolling.
Rolling a ball.
Rolling the ball.
Truck tires, ball bearings, bike wheels, car tires.
All right, so if you're on a bike, you're in a car.
Yeah.
If you're on a bike, you're in a car. All right, a ball rolling across the street. Have y'all ever been bowling?
Yeah. Never beat me involved.
Okay, all of those things are rolling friction. All right, sliding friction. What's the key word for sliding friction?
Sliding.
I wouldn't have put sliding, but it's okay if you did.
I put something.
What? Rubbing is the key word. Okay, anything that involves rubbing is sliding friction. Okay? All right, Derek's rubbing his hands together. That's sliding friction. Okay, anything that involves rubbing is sliding friction. When you sat down in your chair today, that was sliding friction. You rubbed your butt when you sat down in that seat. You may not have thought so, but most of you did not try to squeeze in and not get your butt in the seat. You actually slid into the seat. All right, every time you sit down in a booth to eat dinner somewhere at a restaurant, it is, you slide all the way across or you slide it a little bit, you sit on the edge, it is sliding friction. You rub the seat. When you put your clothes in the dryer, those clothes rub each other the whole time they're sitting. It's sliding friction. All right, what other examples do y'all have?
Whenever you leave your chair on our date, go like that.
Okay. Sliding your chair is rubbing friction.
A coaster sliding against the table.
Yep.
Keys sliding.
Keys sliding. Skis.
Sliding against the snow.
All right, skis sliding against the snow can fit in two places. All right, I don't have any issues with it on sliding, but it also fits somewhere else. What? Rubbing your hands together.
That's the penguins do that one thing with the slide on the ice.
Okay, that fits with the skis. Hold that thought. We're gonna talk about that somewhere else too. Slide it down the slide. Okay. Now, where else can those two examples fit is our last example, which is fluid friction. What are your keywords for fluid? Liquid and gas. Any liquid or gas is fluid friction. It cannot be a solid. It can be a liquid or a gas to be a fluid friction. Now, if you put walking, walking is fluid friction. When I walk through the air, when y'all get up to go to lunch, you're going to pass through what?
Water.
Gas. This room is filled with air. Okay? It's filled with gas. You're going to glide through the air. And the gas is going to move out of the way. As opposed to when you get up to go to lunch, you're not going to.
You don't know.
I hope this doesn't happen to you. It's a little hard to walk through a solid, isn't it? I can't get through that. All right?
Big bet.
It's a little difficult to do that. So, when you get up, the gas molecules are going to flow around your body as you walk by. Okay? If you got into a swimming pool and you walk through the water would move around you. Okay? Now, I'm not Jesus with my own part. Alright? I can't walk on it either. I'll sink like a rock. What? It's not gonna part for me. It's my part for him, but it's not gonna part for me. Now,
Jesus, the water's not gonna.
now, if we think about fish have what kind of friction?
Yes.
Think about friction. They have what kind? Fluid friction, because the water flows down the side of their body. Alright? Now, parachuters, people who fall through the air and come towards the ground, have fluid friction. They slow their fall down by opening their parachute so that they don't die. What else did y'all put down?
12, 8, and ball.
Alright, ballpoint pens. Alright, ballpoint pens would be what? You can put that, but where's ballpoint pens also fit? Rolling, because they have a wheel or a ball. Alright, now the skis and penguins, what happens to those when you have them on the ground? Can also be melting, which would be fluid friction, which is why I said even though they had it for sliding, you could also argue fluid friction there because the penguin and the skis are going to melt the ice, so you could argue fluid friction on those. Okay, but there's nothing wrong with sliding. Okay?
That's in the both categories, right?
Alright, technically it could go in both categories, but it's fine with sliding. Alright, any other questions with what you have? How am I doing on time?
Good.
Alright, we've got 9 minutes. I don't think we have time to do the sorting activity, so we'll save that for tomorrow. Let's talk about Newton for a minute, because he's on your CFA.
Hey, what's this? Benjamin Newton?
Alright, let's talk about Newton's first law. That's usually the one everybody remembers. Okay? Did everybody put their laptop up? Okay. Now, Newton's first law is the lab that you'll do tomorrow with the boxes and the broom handles.
We get to beat people.
You do not get to beat people with the broom handle. You got to use the broom handle to make the box go forward. Now, tell me what Newton's first law is. Most people remember this.
Objects that go in motion, stay in motion.
All right, that's why I always like to start with this one because most people remember it. All right, so Newton's first law says an object in motion remains in motion. Now, some teachers teach it that way, and there's nothing wrong with teaching it that way. A-okay. Some teachers teach it this way. An object at rest remains at rest. Okay? They mean the exact same thing. Just depends on which one your teacher wanted to do. They may have taught both of them. They mean the same thing. Sure. Now, it even has a fancy name. If your teacher wanted to use the fancy name, they may have taught you that it's called inertia. Okay, have you ever heard that word?
Yeah.
Okay. The fancy name for both of those definitions is called inertia. So when I ask you for the key word, it's called inertia, just because we get tired of saying all that long definition stuff. All right, so an object at rest remains at rest, or an object in motion stays in motion. It's called inertia. All right, so what does that mean?
It means that if it's still, it's going to stay still until something touches it.
That's right. All right, so the stuff that's sitting on my desk, the notebooks I have sitting up there, are they going to move on their own?
They could. How could they?
How could that?
Right,
The
they
wind
can
is
be
outside
outside
Okay.
force.
That reminds me of the car lab we did last week. When I asked you what factors cause the car to have different speeds, and several people told me the wind. I'm like,
The wind is an outside force.
I'm like, wow, we had a windy day in here. We weren't outside, people. We were in the room. Okay? Now, the only way stuff on my desk is gonna move is if what happens? We move it, okay? The object itself, now everyone wants you to pay attention. The object itself is not going to move unless we do something to move it, okay? If we look at the objects that are moving, for example, if Nigel and I here, since we're apparently dating and I didn't know it, all right, roll a ball back and forth across the room, is the ball going to veer off and go to the right or the left on its own?
That's not bad, right?
Well, just depending on my aim. Let's assume my aim is not that bad. All right, it's not. It'll roll in a straight line, but Liliana could stick her foot out and change its direction, or maybe Nigella or Grace, since they're both trying to. Okay? So, an object is going to stay in the motion it's in unless some outside force acts on it. Now, what else affects the inertia of an object? Anybody know? What?
It's a weight.
Okay, it's mass. We're going to say mass instead of weight. Okay? So, the other thing that affects inertia is mass. Okay? All right, the last thing we're going to do before we pack up. Any ideas how mass affects inertia?
Well, if a feather is like at a downward slope and it's just sitting there, it's not really gonna move if it's like this. But if I put like a bowling ball, and it's heavy, it'll roll.
Okay.
How fast? Something like can't move something heavy.
Okay. I want somebody to make a note or remind me that that's what I need to talk about tomorrow. Okay? Because we don't have much time left. And that way we can put our calculators and everything up. But I need to start there. What's our quiz on tomorrow? All right. It's on friction and adding up our balanced and unbalanced forces. We'll practice a little bit with friction first. We'll practice with friction first before we do the quiz. Our CFA is on Thursday. Common form of assessment. Mr. Moore's class and our class has to take the same one. It's supposed to go through Newton's laws, which we haven't finished yet, which is one reason it'll be Thursday. It'll go through everything we've done. It doesn't count for a grade. What I'm planning to do is just use some of it maybe for bonus points. And y'all put your butts in a chair to the bell or the 120, and Tyler tells me it's 120.